Hello and welcome to this week's vlog from Madison's. Well, of course, the budget is looming, the spring budget. I think there's a growing sense that probably Rishi is not going to extend the stamp duty holiday. So how is he going to look to recoup the massive deficit that we sit on? Boris has already said that we will not have a return to austerity. Of course, he can't have that. We have to look successful in leaving the EU as part of the whole Brexit situation. So he's not going to put a foot on public spending and go to a period of reining back and not spending in various areas. They'll look at other areas. And of course, the Office of Tax Simplification was tasked by Rishi to have a look at simplifying capital gains tax. That's probably where they'll go. Of course, your principal private residence is free of capital gains tax when you sell it, but any other investments that you hold, that you do have other exemptions, for example, a classic car, but most other assets that you hold, when you sell them, they are charged to capital gains tax. And capital gains tax is generally more favourable than income tax. Typically, for a basic rate taxpayer, it sits around 10%, and you have good annual CGT exemptions each year, a certain amount that you can make before you have to pay tax. For property, residential property, it sits at 18% for basic rate taxpayers and 28% for higher rate taxpayers. And compare that to income tax, the highest rate is 45%. So there may well be an increase in capital gains tax or indeed an alignment with income tax. Now, the economy is worried about that, could send a bit of a heart attack across the property market, and it's expected that the measures will be introduced immediately. I think anybody looking at it thinks there's going to be a phased or a gradual implementation of the new changes. Then many will start to sell their properties where they feel they are very pregnant with capital gains to mitigate their tax implication. So we have some clients desperate to get deals through before the 3rd of March in view of that impending possible capital gains tax allowance. The reality is aligning it with income tax is estimated to bring in an extra 19 billion of tax receipts to the government. So it would be hugely lucrative to do that. So, you know, the market that it really affects is anybody holding a second property, be that for investment or indeed as a second holiday home. You won't get that principal private residence exemption on that one. So the rental market, looking at that, has done phenomenally well recently. There's demand has gone up by 21%. That's predominantly from people looking to leave the big inner city areas in a race for more space. So moving the commuter belt has kind of extended. Obviously, it's not so important, people's travel times to work. So they will reduce the ease of getting into work by living in the real inner cities, move out slightly and get more of that space. Rents prices as a result of that increased demand have gone up 2.3%. Typically they run at about 1.5%. So interesting to see there that the rental market is doing very, very well. For many who are just after income, it will continue to sit and be a very, very favourable asset to sit in. But if anybody's thinking of disposing, then those gains could have quite an implication. Zoopla produced their latest rental market update, and really interesting to see this picture on the screen now is showing exactly that increase in demand. Amazing to look at London, look at that, down 8.3%. In terms of average rents that are collected. So yeah, that chase for space is really impacting the rental market. And staying on the rental market, we've just launched a lovely new rental property to the market. It's a beautiful, completely refurbished 3-bedroom property on East Street in Tunbridge, exquisitely done. It's proven popular. Get in touch quickly if you're interested. There are far too few available rental properties out there. All of ours go super fast. Well, of course, Valentine's on Saturday. I hope you have a lovely time if you will be celebrating. And for all the singles out there, you have a nice time too. And then, of course, next week it's half term. So next week I've asked all my staff, we have a collective knowledge of about 150 years of the town in Madison's. And I've asked them what to do with the kids next week. The usual things obviously aren't open. So we're going to post every single day an idea for you to try with the children. If the weather's nice, it will involve going outside. If the weather's not so nice, it'll have some ideas of what you can do on those rainy days. So do please watch out for our Instagram, Facebook, all the usual social media posts, and get some inspiration of what to do to pass those hours of lockdown and a February half term. Well, enjoy your week, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye bye.